1. The radiance of the Hellenic Genius, seekers of truth. We turn our gaze today to Greece, not merely a geographical location, but a spiritual beacon. Of all the peoples who have walked this earth, none have manifested their mission with more brilliant clarity than the Hellenes. For 20 centuries, civilization has poured from her outstretched hand. She initiated Europe into the regal splendor of beauty, and despite her historical backslidings, internal struggles, and eventual political downfall, her genius remains a subject of eternal admiration. What was the specific nature of this genius? It was the unique ability to render the obscure beauties of Oriental wisdom into a clear, comprehensible tongue. Greece took the ancient hidden truths and humanized them through the twin celestial harmonies of music and poetry. It began with Orpheus and Homer, who sounded the first notes to a hearkening world. But the true orchestration of this wisdom arrived with Pythagoras, an initiate of the Egyptian mysteries. Pythagoras listened to the budding genius of Greek speech and song and discerned a hidden rhythm. He saw this rhythm everywhere, in the majestic onward march of the spheres rolling through space, and in the accord of the three worlds, the natural, the human, and the divine. He taught that these three worlds sustain and balance one another, producing life in an ascending stream and an infinite spiral. From this tremendous vision, the concept of a triple initiation was born. This was a system of education and reformation, a path by which those possessed of eternal principles could, through purification, free themselves from earthly ills and attain perfection. This was the foundation of the great Pythagorean system, later popularized and expanded by Socrates and Plato, who inaugurated the reign of open science over secret law. 2. The sanctuaries and the pure doctrine. We must understand that the soul of Greece was not found in her political fluctuations. It was not in the somber brutality of Sparta, nor even in the brilliant frivolity of Athens. To find the highest manifestation of Hellenic genius, we must look to the sacred strongholds, Delphi, Olympus, and Eleusis. Above the turbulent cities ever ready to rend one another, above the shifting forms of government that cycled from aristocracy to democracy to tyranny, a supreme power dominated Greece. This was the Amphictyonic Council, seated at Delphi. Composed of initiates of a superior degree, this council alone saved Hellas in her days of peril by imposing peace upon the rivalries of Sparta and Athens. In these temples, the secret science reigned. As far back as the days of Orpheus, the master would whisper to the neophyte, "God is one, and ever like unto himself. But the gods are innumerable and diverse, because divinity is infinite and eternal. The greatest are the souls of the stars." The message to the adept was one of profound hope and rigorous responsibility. They were taught that after the long circuit of troubled existences, they would meet as one spirit in the light of Dionysus. The command was simple, yet arduous. Love, because all must love. But love the light and not the darkness. They believed that when spirits return to the light, they bear the sins of their lives like hideous stains upon their ethereal bodies. To efface these stains, expiation is necessary. They must return to earth. But the pure and the strong, they speed on to the son of Dionysus. 3. the Pythagorean synthesis and the cosmos. Let us look closer at the imposing figure of Pythagoras, the son of Ionia. After 30 years of study in Egypt, possessing a vast knowledge united with marvelous intuition, he became the first to coordinate the secret doctrines of the East. He bound them into one great synthesis, embracing morals, science, and religion. His academy at Croton was a school of lay initiation, a prelude to the great wave of thought extending from Plato to Jesus. Pythagoras raised a stately monument to esoteric science. He taught that man only knows the things of this world because there is a harmony, an affinity between himself and the cosmos, a principle bestowed by the One. He taught that your soul is a tiny universe, often stormy and full of discord. Your task is to establish unity in harmony within that microcosm. Only then does God descend into your conscience. Only then does your will become an altar to Hestia, a throne of Jupiter. To the Pythagoreans, the soul was the spirit wrapped in a fluidic, ethereal body. The drama of life, the fate of Psyche, was her descent into the captivity of flesh, her struggles, and her triumphant re-ascension to the light. This was the all-important knowledge represented in the mysteries of Eleusis. Scientifically, the secret teaching was millennia ahead of its time. While the public treatises of the ancients contained childish notions of the universe, the initiates knew the truth. Aristotle noted that Pythagoreans knew of the Earth's motion around the sun. Copernicus himself credited a passage in Cicero, referring to Hicetus, a disciple of Pythagoras, for the idea of terrestrial rotation. In the third degree of initiation, the dual motion of the Earth was explicitly taught. They knew the planets were outcasts of the sun, revolving around it, and that every star is a sun lighting other worlds, each a universe governed by universal laws. 4. The imponderable fluid and the occult. Why were these truths not written down? Because the vulgar would have deemed them sacrilegious to their mythology. They were part of an oral tradition under the bond of secrecy. This secret science described an imponderable fluid that everywhere prevails, a substance the ancients metaphorically called the veil of Isis or the mantle of Cybele. This subtle agent impregnates all things. It is the link between matter and spirit. It records all thoughts and deeds as a mirror reflects pictures. It explains the phenomena of suggestion and thought transmission, serving as a medium between the visible and the unseen, between men and discarnate spirits. By understanding the law of analogy that unites the material and spiritual worlds, the ancients developed transcendental faculties like second sight and divination. We must not dismiss the oracles of the Grecian temples or the Pythagoras as mere superstition. Experimental psychology today bids us to examine these cohesive facts. These faculties required extraordinary purity and long cultivation. When the priesthood became less scrupulous in their choice of subjects, as Plutarch notes, the science became corrupt and fell into disuse, a great misfortune for the ancient world. 5. The invisible legions. We must remember that the Greeks believed deeply in spirit intervention. Socrates himself possessed a daimon, or familiar genius. This conviction changed history. At the battles of Marathon and Salamis, where a handful of Greeks faced the overwhelming hordes of the Persian invasion, their strength was multiplied by the certainty that invisible legions seconded them. At Marathon, Athenians were convinced they saw two shining warriors fighting in their ranks. 10 years later, a Pythoness foretold the means of salvation from her tripod. Had Xerxes won, a barbaric Asia would have stifled Hellenic genius, retarding human thought by 20 centuries. But the Greeks won, and on the headland of the Acropolis, silhouetted against the blue sea and the outlines of Pentelicus and Hymettus, they rendered homage to Pallas Athena, the symbol of spiritual power. 6. The continuity of the doctrine. Ultimately, the mysteries of Greece, Egypt, and India all hinged upon the same facts: the secret of death, the revelation of successive lives, and communication with the unseen. This imparted incomparable serenity and moral force to the people. Sophocles called these mysteries the hopes of death. Aristophanes attested that initiates led pure lives, for no conspirators, perjurers, or debauchees were admitted. The doctrine taught that at the hour of death, our spirits should be exempt from anger, envy, or hatred. It taught that righteous spirits intervene in our lives. This esoteric doctrine flowed from Pythagoras to Plato. Plato, who was initiated in Egypt after the death of Socrates, founded his academy on these principles. Though he spoke guardedly, the theme of a soul's migrations is set forth in his works Phaedrus, Phaedo, and Timaeus. In his Republic, he presents the allegory of souls choosing their destinies before birth, warned by the genius to choose freely. But remember that the choice is irrevocable. Accuse not God. This wisdom reached Rome, found in the writings of Ovid, Cicero's dreams of Scipio, and Virgil's Aeneid. It traveled through the Celts. The school of Alexandria eventually condensed these principles, infusing them into the young blood of Christianity. The Essenes immuniated the scriptures with this esoteric science, and Christ himself dipped into this live, inexhaustible spring. 7. Conclusion: the mighty spiritual current. To recapitulate, this secret doctrine is the mother of all religions and philosophies. It assumes different aspects in different ages, but its foundation is ever the same. There is a mighty spiritual current that mysteriously flows through the deep places of history. It issues from that unseen realm that governs and surrounds us, where dwell and act those transcendental spirits who have ever guided the human race. The sages, philosophers, and prophets of all lands have drawn from this same current. It provides the energy and inspiration that makes all things possible, transforming individuals and societies, and forwarding us all upon the path of progressive evolution. Let us, like the ancients, strive to harmonize our own inner universes, that we too might participate in this ascending stream of infinite life.